know it. We're not going to go towards a gun. We know not to go towards a gun. We know to stay away from guns. What are some other ones? Eric?
Eat healthy.
Eat healthy. Did Oakland tell us to eat healthy?
No, but
how do we know to do it?
We heard from our parents, and that's a rule because.
So it's something. Do we talk about it?
Yeah.
So is it a rule if we talk about it?
No.
Let's talk about things that we don't talk about. It's hard, but that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the things that we all know, but we don't talk about. This is really hard. What did you say?
Go to Burger King.
What about Burger King?
You don't have to go.
What did you say about it?
Go to Burger King.
Okay. Interesting. I'm going to write that. Go to Burger King. This is not Miss Michalski's suggestion. Miss Michalski would say, don't go to Burger King. But that wouldn't be a rule then, right? Because I'd be talking about it. Karen.
Every child has to go to school.
Is that a rule? I'll tell you what. That's a law. Every child has to go. It's a law. So that's not a rule. I know this is really hard. So I'm going to give you an example of a rule. A kind of rule I'm looking for. Here's an example. Don't walk on the streets at night. Right? That's not something someone ever wrote down as a law. But would you walk on the streets at night?
No.
No! That's a rule. People just don't do it. I'm going to write that down. Don't walk on the streets at night. All right. Who's next? Kiara.
When you said don't walk on the street at night, how come last night I walked on the street and nothing happened to me?
Well, just because rules exist doesn't mean that they're true, right? In Maniac Magee, we heard that black people and white people shouldn't talk to each other. Is it true?
No.
No. And in Oakland, we have rules, and some of them are for a good reason, some of them aren't. You can sometimes walk at night and you'll be fine, and sometimes you won't. And it just depends.
Because my street is not like ghetto or loud. My street is just quiet.
Well, that's a very lucky thing to have. But Kiara, we're talking about rules that exist that people know, and just because we know them doesn't mean they're true. So what you brought up is actually a really good point. Some of these rules in Oakland and in Maniac Magee especially aren't true. They're just things that exist that people know and that change the way people act. Yes?
No. Carry all your money with you.
Don't carry your money with you. How many times did you think this when you're walking down the street? Oh no, I've got $5 in my pocket. I'm gonna, let's see. That's a great rule. Don't carry too much money. Why? Did someone say someone could jump you?
Or
yeah. Because you know that when you're walking down the street in Oakland, most of the time you're going to be fine, right? Just like Kiara was saying. Most of the time you're going to walk down the street, not a problem. But sometimes there's a risk that you'll get jumped. And so that's why you don't carry too much money with you. What else? I'm seeing more hands, which I think that people are starting to understand more. Yes. Gerardo. Gerardo, not looking for stories right now. As much as I enjoy them, we're doing some rules. Brigitte.
Don't keep cool phones on the bus.
Don't keep what?
Like cool phones on the bus.
Cool phones.
Yeah.
Because you could also get them stolen, right? Don't keep your cool phone on the bus. No cool phones on the bus. So a lot of these rules seem to be about what? What do these rules have to do with? A lot of these rules, like don't carry too much money, no cool phones on the bus, don't walk on the streets at night. What do they have to do with? They do have to do with Oakland rules, but what else?
Safety.
Safety. So a lot of these rules have to do with safety. What do these rules have to do with?
Racism.
Salvador is saying something really interesting. He said safety. Do you think that, I want you to talk about this with the person next to you. Do you think that in Maniac Magee, the white people and the black people don't talk to each other because they are afraid for their own safety? Talk to the person next to you.
Yeah, because people are different from each other and they think wrong about people without knowing them. So that means that they're scared without knowing each other, and they think that they might get in a fight or they might do something bad to them. But you shouldn't say that because you're supposed to know a person. Maybe he's just like you, and that's why don't be afraid to.
All right, 6th graders. I would like 2 responses from the class before we move on to our reading thinking notes. Can I have 2 responses? What do you think? This is kind of an up-in-the-air question. There is not a right answer. Christopher?
I would think that they wouldn't be safe because what if the blacks went over to the whites and the whites tried to kill the blacks?
What?
So you're saying that it is an issue of safety, and that the reason here might be safety too. That it might be a safety issue. Okay. Salvador.
I think safety because if they're talking to one would knock out the other guy's head.
Yeah, so you think that it might be an issue about safety too. Renee.
I think it won't because they're divided into separate ends.
So you think that it's not a matter of safety because people are divided. But my question is, are they divided because of safety? So do you think that they divided in the first place because of safety?
No.
What do you think? How do you think they got that way? Do you think that they separated because of safety or for another reason? Okay. I want you to think about what that other reason is, because this is a question we're talking about a lot with Maniac Magee. And so we're going to have to come up with a few reasons why this is. Florinda.
Like Renee said, I think the other reason is because it's the skin color.
Ooh, so you think it's more of a skin color thing,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to do with fear or being safe.
It doesn't have to do anything with safety.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they think that they like they're different from each other and.
So you think it's a difference thing. I really like what Florinda just did, where she said, just like Renee said, blah, blah, blah. I like that she built on what Renee said. I want to see more students do that in this class. I love when you have class discussions like that. That makes me really happy. Can I have another person who wants to build off of what Florinda said? So this person is going to say, like Florinda and Renee said, blah, blah, blah. Jessica.
Yeah, I agree with Linda and in the comments because in the book it says Marshall when he was with Maggie, when he first met him, he was like he gave me from his bar, and then Maniac took it and he said like what a strange kid. Then his mom told him that don't have things from the black people.
Right. He said, no white boy puts his mouth where a black boy has put his mouth, right?
Yeah.
He chomped on Mars Bar's bar. Right, exactly. So you think that it's a skin color issue. So this is something to think about. And thank you, Jessica, and the way that you said that. You said Renee and Florinda. I want to build on that. Wonderful. So I'm really glad to see so many hands, but we are going to move on to the next part of today, which is this. RT notes. What are